drink. I'm into that.
Hashtag technology.
Isn't that a miracle that you can just, you don't have to write down with your scroll?
If I wasn't on the phone with you, I could fucking speech dictate it. Share your screen with me so I can see the notes.
Okay. Up. Whoa, wait. Whoa.
What? I can turn subtitles on?
Wait, that's a thing?
Speak.
Hey, what's up? Is my voice
Oh my god, it came up!
No way, that's fucking incredible! Wow.
Holy shit.
Technology is insane!
I don't like it. Too much.
Oh, I love it! The computers are taking over.
I turned it off.
I love it. What? Now, is that a phone feature or is that a Skype feature?
No fucking clue. I clicked a button and it was like, allow incoming video, turn subtitles on, and I fucking did it.
What?
You flipped me screens, bruh.
What? Oh my god, I can't believe that! I like how we're just amazed by the technology that has existed for years. What is up, you trolls? Welcome back to another episode of the Fetch and Shock podcast. I am your host, the missing sock from the laundry, Tyler. And joining me, as always, is the empty roll of toilet paper, Matt. Matt, what is going on, man?
Hey, fuck you. Why am I the empty toilet paper and not the sock?
I don't know, because you're just throwaway. That's what it is. Like, people want to spend time looking for me, but everybody just wants to throw you.
Technically, I'm more useful when I'm full of life and fuck off.
When you get, you're trying to put a spin on this that is going to be positive, but there's no.
No, there's no positive.
No, I mean.
But I'm doing good, man. Nice, cool fall weather up yonder.
So jealous. It was Pennsylvania. Turns out now it's like a southern state now because it was 90 degrees today for no reason whatsoever.
It's funny. People here actually refer that as south. I'm like, that is not south.
Yeah, it's so weird. You got one of those southern states, just because it's one state down.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much like a 5-hour difference affects just the general climate.
Yeah, 5 hours north matters.
Yeah, because I've been looking up. I might be moving to Rochester, so I've been looking up.
Whoop whoop.
Yeah, hell yeah, that's going to be some life changes that are occurring because Tyler's losing his job, so he needs to find another one. But yeah, so moving to Rochester, the quality of life actually seems to be decent from what the internet said, and I can really get down with your climate. I can really fuck with the climate in Rochester.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah, so let's maybe me and Matt might be neighbors. We'll be living closer together than when we were actually living close together when we were children.
Yeah.
Which is so wild to me.
Like a town and a half over. Not even a town and a half, a town over.
Yeah, one entire town over. Just like I'm on one side of the town, and then you go to the other side of the other town, and that's where Matt was. Gotta love that. Well, we are really, really good at just getting completely off track immediately.
Dude, I'm telling you, fuck the Magic podcast. We just need to do a variety hour where we're just bullshit.
You know what? Screw it. We're just throwing everything out today. We're just doing, for episode 20. I think episode 20. Yeah, it's definitely episode 20. For episode 20, it's not going to be Magic related in the slightest. Eldraine is in the worst set ever. We have no shout outs. We have nothing else going on. We're just going to be talking about our lives and how great they are.
Let's do a dog podcast.
We just have our dogs come in and we'll just play with them, and it'll just be ASMR of dogs like growling and playing with toys and shit like that.
When I said dog podcast, it skyrocketed.
I love that. Because if people were around, they would be able to see that your dog, because we're on Skype right now, your dog is sitting on your lap and your other dog is at your feet, and then my dog is sitting on the floor right next to me.
Yeah, my dogs don't know what personal space is.
No, and my dog's name's Budweiser, but he doesn't know personal space when it comes to wanting to actually have attention, because he will sit like on my face. But when he's like fucking off doing his own thing, he wants to be as far away from me as possible.
Sounds like a fucking cat.
He's got a lot of cat in him, turns out.
Don't feel bad. Ollie's a cat. He'll lay on the back of my couch.
Oh, that's what Bud does. He lays like directly, at least during the day, because that's when the sun comes in that one window in my apartment. Bud will lay on the top of the couch and just stare out the window and look at just nature and just bask in the sunlight. Like, it's to the point where the blinds that I had up in that window were knocked down and fucked up. So I got new blinds, and then I just had to put them up during the day because he will knock them down, he will fuck them up, and I'll just have to buy new ones again.
Just because he wants to lay in the sun and check out All the squirrels and birds and shit.
Oh, he wants to watch the college students walk by. And then if I can't even tell you how many times I've been sitting here at my computer doing something, and like I'll be playing like Magic Arena, and he'll see a college student come by, and a college student will see him in the window and then just stop and just stare at him, because college students are absolutely enthralled by dogs, and they'll just have a staring contest. And then they'll like tap on the window, and they don't see that I'm in here. They're just staring at Bud. And then I just peek my head around the corner, and they're like, oh shit, there's a human being. What the fuck?
Scare the shit out of them.
Yeah, I've scared multiple college students that live in my building because they didn't expect a human being to peek out of the window that the dog was sitting in.
That's actually really funny.
Oh, every time it's a riot. I've never had a time where it wasn't one of the funniest things that I've ever experienced.
Scare the piss out of them.
Hell yeah, that is essentially my job. Is to put the fear into college.
It's not a bad job to have.
That's what I went to school for. And I mean, if you're going to do something, you got to do it well. So even when I'm off the clock playing Magic Online, I still take every opportunity I can to scare college kids.
Oh, don't kid yourself. You do that shit at work too.
Yeah, you're right. Well, even in my office, I'm the first person or at least the first like professional staff member that the students see as they walk in, because my office has windows in the front of it. So they walk in, and the first thing they see is this big set of windows, and my dumb face peeking over a computer, probably looking at like deck lists on like MTG Top 8 or something.
It's actually really funny.
Yeah, that's been my life up to this point. I can't say it's really a particularly bad one.
Yeah, there's way worse off people. Holy shit, we are going off on a fucking real tangent.
Yeah, this is a real boy tangent. Well, actually, I can remember in the past few weeks, when students come in and they look at me, I'm not actually looking at deck lists really that much anymore. What I'm looking at is all of the incredible fucking deals on flipsidegaming.com.
Boom, that was smooth. God damn.
That's what I'm here for. So if you want to also look at these incredible deals on flipsidegaming.com, I highly recommend you go and check them out for the best deals you could possibly find on Magic the Gathering singles, sealed product, and supplies. And if at checkout you use code FETCH, you get 10% off of your order. So go buy your new Eldraine cards, because everybody wants them for standard. Shit, everybody wants them for modern and legacy too. Like some of these cards are bonkers, man. They're nuts.
Yeah, little bananas.
Yeah, turns out as long as Wizards is going to be printing cards, there's still going to be incredible cards coming out that we are going to lose our minds over, regardless of whether it's standard formats or Modern Horizons or Commander or whatever. Like Wizards has gotten to the point where it almost feels like they're just like, fuck it, power level, it just doesn't matter. If it's something fucked up, we'll ban it. We're just going to keep pushing the envelope. I'm cool with that though.
Well, that's kind of how you have to, because whenever you come out with a shitty set and it all sucks, it doesn't sell.
Yeah, so they got to keep pushing the levels.
You got to have some new hotness.
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily a bad thing.
No.
It is a bad thing when it just ruins a standard format, or something comes out and it ruins a modern format, but
I could give a fuck if it ruins a standard format.
And that's the thing too. Sure, everybody had their nice little month of complaining that Hogak was the worst thing that's ever happened to the world. Like fucking World War One fucking pales in comparison to compare to the printing of Hogak compared to fucking Magic Twitter. But
it's really funny to me, the people who bought Hogak at $40 and now it's sitting right around $2-3.
Yeah, that's obviously, I love that MTG finance aspect of it. That's why I just don't. Just play white decks, or just play a deck that you know so well that when something comes out and you're like, that's like clinically insane for that fucking deck, and you buy it early. And then all the people who are just want to play the best deck,
those are the guys who get screwed, guys and gals. And
yeah, like
everything in between, who gets fucking rocked by those.
Yeah, people were playing like Bridgevine and Dredge decks before then, saw Hogak, and they were just like, oh boy, this is a spicy little toy. And they pre-ordered it at like 50 cents. And then when it skyrocketed, they were like, oh yeah, I'm happy with my investment.
Yeah, whenever people were like, oh,
my $2 investment.
That's going to be good. Let's buy it now.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Magic cards that have been printed, Eldraine just had its pre-release this past weekend. Matt, you did not get an opportunity to play a pre-release because you were participating in holy matrimony for other people, not yourself.
Dose. 2 weddings.
That's a crazy weekend. 2 weddings.
Yeah, it's busy.
That seems like one hell of a hangover, honestly.
No, I had to drive, so I really couldn't drink
Oh, so
It's the
that sucks.
first weddings in a while that shithouse.
No, I see. I don't go to weddings to not drink. That's not the point.
Normally, I would agree with you, and then you have to drive 5 hours.
Yeah, I guess that puts a damper on things. Well, I mean, honestly, 5 hours is long enough that you can totally lose your buzz.
Yeah, but I don't want to be buzzed driving.
No, I'm just totally kidding. Kids, do not drink and drive.
It's terrible. Don't do it.
That was 100% a joke. And don't listen to Tyler. He is an idiot.
Yes, very much so an idiot.
But also this weekend, I did not get to play pre-release because I was working an open house for the college on Saturday. I had intentions of doing a Sunday one, but then when I looked online for the times, I realized that all of the Sunday ones of the shop that I go to was Two-Headed Giant.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't have any friends, so there's no way I could have like found somebody to go do a Two-Headed Giant one. So I couldn't do a midnight one because work in the morning. Couldn't do a Saturday one because work all day, and couldn't do a Sunday one because I am a loner. So that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, I wanted to do it. It looked fun. Adulting shit.
The beauty of it is that it is the year 2019, and technology has revolutionized the way that people play Magic. So instead of having to go to a store and play a sealed event, I just ran off a couple on Magic Arena.
Arena or MTGO?
I ran it on Arena because of a topic that we're going to touch on a little bit later in the episode. I need to build up some wild cards, some other points for Magic Arena specifically. So I played it on Arena. Typically, I would probably play it on Magic Online just because that's my preferred method, because I'm just used to it more from Legacy and Modern and just the time that I've spent playing Magic Online. And Magic Arena is in this weird place right now where for some reason it's just chewing on people's like CPUs. It's just crushing everybody's computers. Like it's super laggy. It just like takes forever to fire up, and there's like this big latency issue. I don't know. There's something going on behind the scenes with Arena that I'm not sure of what it exactly it is.
Just some issue.
I mean, they spent a lot of time making the game pretty, but I don't know if they've spent the same amount of time or at least enough time making sure that it's smooth and pretty. Because I would rather have an ugly game that works smooth than a pretty game that works like shit. And currently, Arena is unfortunately, more on the side of a pretty game that works like shit.
Looks nice, but doesn't fucking work, so it's useless.
Yeah, I can't take away from the fact that it looks really nice. I mean, shit, I could design something, and I have no knowledge of that. I could design something that probably looks nice in the Magic Online, but I'm pretty sure I could train one of our dogs to do that because it does not take much.
Yeah, just some ones and zeros.
But I did play some sealed events on Magic Arena, and I did have a couple takeaways from the events that I did play.
Well, let's hear them.
So, first of all, I played 3 of them. One of them, the pool that I had was just one of the worst sealed pools I've ever had in my entire life. Like, all of my rares were the lands. I legitimately had 3 of the rare, like, castle.
Ugh, that's garbage.
Yeah, it was not good. That was one sealed pool. So I pieced together a black-red Knights deck. Because I had, like, one of my other rares was the black-red Knight that at your upkeep, each player draws a card and you lose a life. And that seems fine enough. And then I just had I had enough cards to at least try to make a usable Knights deck. And I promptly 1-3'd that league. Or I guess, would you call it a league? Sure, I'll call it a league just for consistency's sake. Yeah, I promptly 1-3'd that league with that deck and jumped into another one because it was just an absolute pile. The next one I did was a actual good Knights deck where I had like the 3-1. One of my rares was the 3-1 that when it enters the battlefield gives another Knight Death Touch and Lifelink until the end of turn. Or it gives a Knight a Death Touch and Lifelink in the end of turn. So it can give itself it, I believe.
The Flash dude. The 3-1?
Yes, he has Flash. Yep. And for the people out there, I apologize for not knowing the names of any of these cards because the set just came out. We'll learn them as we go on. But it had that. It also had the red black guy that draws a card every upkeep and then you lose a life. And a couple other good like uncommons. Like I had the uncommon one that was black white, and other knights you control get a +1/+1. And then I had 2 of the lands that tap for Mardu, but you can only use that to cast equipment or night spells.
Night spells, yeah.
Yeah, so I had a very good Knights deck. Or I wouldn't say very good, but I had a serviceable Knights deck with my second one and ended up going like 5-3 with that one. So I was pretty happy with that. And then my third one, I had a blue-white equipment flyers deck.
That one probably seems good.
Yeah, that one was really, really fun. And I didn't have really very many rares in that one that got me there. But my uncommons were huge. Like I had, I think I had 3, which was unheard of. I had 3 of the uncommon.
Oh, the owl.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. That guy. Yeah, I had. Yeah, so one of my uncommons in the pool was our Arcanist's Owl, and it's 4 blue-white hybrid for a 3/3 flyer. And then when it enters the battlefield, you look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal an artifact or enchantment card from among them and put it into your hand, and you put the rest in the bottom of your library. And I had 3 of them, and I had an insane amount of artifacts for some reason.
It's sealed.
Like it was just
might as fucking well.
Yeah, it was just an awkward pool where like my artifacts, sure they weren't great, but like I had 3 Ginger Brute.
Ginger Brute.
Yeah, the Ginger Brute, man, the best card in the fucking set, baby. I had 3 Ginger Brute, man. I had Inquisitive Puppet. I had 1 of those as one of my other uncommons. I had 2 Golden Eggs. I had a decent amount of artifacts to make that work. And then I had a solid, just like generic blue-white flyers deck. I also had Witching Well.
That's almost always been fucking limited. Blue-white flyers are the flyers
consistently good. Yeah, so I was happy with that deck. Again, that was another, I think that was 6-3, so I almost got the 7 wins, but I was happy with it. And there's a couple takeaways that I have from this format, and I think those were the initial thoughts that, some of them at least, are the initial thoughts that you and I had. I don't know if we discussed them on the podcast or if we discussed them in just our typical conversations that we had, but I figured we share them now, at least as the first takes of Eldraine Limited. 1, and Matt, I know you will agree with this. This format's grindy.
Yeah, it seemed like it would be.
Yep, and I think we stated on the podcast, it is grindy because of the ease of food token.
Yeah,
food tokens seemed like a dime a dozen. At least like if you're playing against a green deck, which it seems like green is a relatively strong color.
Seems like a very good base color for a lot of decks.
If I would just be able to jump into a draft or even a sealed event, and someone asked me, okay, you're playing this draft, you're playing the sealed event, what is the ideal color combination that you would want to be in? I would say either green, black, like food, where I had a bunch of Bog Naughties, because that card really impressed the shit out of me. I didn't get to play it, unfortunately, but I got wrecked by it multiple times.
Is that the flying black fairy?
Yes, Bog Naughty is it's 5 mana, 3 black. It's a 3/3. I believe it's a flyer, but it has an ability that you sacrifice a food. You pay some mana. I think I want to say it's 3. It's 2 and a black. You sacrifice a food token, and then a target creature gets -3/-3. So it's just a removal spell on a creature equal to the number of foods that you can produce. Oh boy, that card fucking wrecked me.
Yeah, that thing seems good.
It wrecked me in games where I was particularly susceptible to that, but also the fact that it's a grindy format really lends itself to cards like this, where you can really establish your board, you can get the food tokens, and then if you slam this card and you have like 3 food tokens and 6 mana on the battlefield, you can just casually kill 2 creatures and completely flip the game on its head.
Yeah, that seems pretty good.
Yeah, I got absolutely blown out by that.
Just a shit ton of free removal, if you will.
And there's one game that I particularly remember that harkens on another point that I want to make. That Fervent Champion, the Javier Dominguez round.
Okay.
Yeah, the 1 mana first strike haste guy that's a 1/1, and then equipment costs 3 less to attach it, and then when it attacks, you can give another knight a +1/+0. That card fucking stomped me.
Yeah, that seems pretty fucking good too.
Yeah, that card just fucking blew me out, man, because it just like out of nowhere, my opponent, and it could just have been my opponent's build was just insane, but out of nowhere, it just like they played an equipment, equipped immediately. Played an equipment, equipped immediately. I feel like there's a lot of uncommon equipments that are at least like somewhat playable. That guy is just like, he's so good. Like, he's a first pickable rare for something that's really unassuming in draft.
And then just build around it.
Yep. So those are 3 of the points that I made for the limited that, well, I guess 2 of the points is that I think Knights is a very real deck. I think like there is, and it's cool because it's in 3 colors. So there can be like a red-white Knights player at the table, and like a black-white Knights or a red-black Knights player at the table. I don't think there is enough cards to service 3 players playing like red-white, black-white, red-black. But there's enough to split the colors at least in some way where both players can cut off of the shared color and then focus on the other color.
Yeah, you could have 2 Knights.
Yeah, that's something that I would be able to see in limited. That's something I could definitely see, at least in draft, being very, very good. Another thing that I noticed is that if you can do it, some of the cards that have the what's the mechanic? Is it addendum? Yeah, or
adventure.
Adamant. The adamant mechanic is when you pay at least 3 of a specific color mana to a spell, you get an additional ability.
A little bonus.
Yeah, some of those cards are really powerful. Like there's the blue common. I played it in my blue-white deck, and it was predominantly blue. But when you play it, I think it's a 4-mana 2/2 flyer. Yeah, it's a 4-mana 2/2 flyer, but with addendum, if you played at least 3 blue, it's a 3/3 flyer. That card was really impressive.
Yeah, 3 basic lands in limited is not that hard to get.
No, not particularly.
You might not be able to do a turn 3. You could, but it's unlikely.
Yeah, it's unlikely. You're right, especially if you're like have a split of colors. But if you were leaning heavily into one color, those cards get significantly
better. Yeah.
Yep.
Do you see it? Well, probably not in sealed, but any monocolored decks?
I did not see in sealed any monocolored decks, but I think there is potential for people to draft monocolor in limited.
Or monocolor pretty much, and then like do a small splash.
Yeah, like a little baby splash, especially if you open like a busted rare that is monocolored. I think in most formats you're going to shy away from that because like, let's say one of the rares is like blue. Like the Gadwick, what is it? The Gadwick the Wizened, the Wizard.
Yeah, the 3 and then X. Blue X.
The blue X guy. If you open him, I think as opposed to most formats where you would open him. Oh, you know what's a good analog for that? Dominaria. When you would open one of the 3 like Chain Whirler Psycho cards, where it was like color. In limited, you would open that and almost immediately pass it because that's just too much of a commitment. In this format, it seems like there is a little bit more payoff to kind of keeping to one color. So there is at least a little bit more consideration to keeping that blue X rare that is really powerful because you can kind of go into at least more of a one color style deck. I still don't think it's enough to be able to like first pick that card, but it is, at least in the formats that have been going on for the past like couple years, that is a much more of a strong consideration. And it really does harken back.
I do like that. Get paid off for staying monocolored.
Yeah, and it really does harken back to like that Theros style limited format where there were some cards where if you got the devotion, you were off to the races. Like you really could do some nutty shit with that.
some dirty deeds.
Yeah, like there was that uncommon in Theros Limited where it tapped to add green mana equal to your devotion to green. Like if you just built a green deck around that, you could do some just absolutely absurd shit with that.
Yeah, game fucking over.
Yeah, there's no way. If you could build the proper deck, there's no way somebody could, because the mana advantage is too strong. But overall, as far as the limited format is concerned, I'm excited to draft this set. I don't know if it's going to be in like my top 10 draft formats of all time, but I also am fairly certain that it's not going to be in my bottom 10.
Yeah, I never really tend to like old formats. I'm always a bigger fan of actually being able to draft.
Yeah, that's
So,
historically you. You have never really been over the moon about a sealed format, right?
say that again?
You've never been like crazy about a sealed format.
No, there's not been one where I'm like, oh my god, yes, this is. I've had crazy sealed decks, but I don't like it.
Sure.
Like,
there has
probably my best sealed deck ever was the Ixalan sealed deck. It was a fucking draft deck. I had 2 Regisaur Alphas, the red-white Planeswalker that fucking pumped out.
Yes.
It's like, okay, well, yeah, sure.
And that's kind of like how sealed works for a lot of people, is where the best sealed deck that you could possibly have is something that you would have drafted if you would have seen the card.
Yeah, that deck was bananas good.
And I guess I'm kind of in the same boat where I'm not crazy about sealed. I do like sealed as like a pre-release context because everybody's kind of new to it, and it's that pre-release mentality where I'm just throwing all my dicks into a hat, and you just throw everything in, see what comes out, and it doesn't actually have any impact on what you come up with. As far as like limited GPs, you could enter a limited GP and you have $60 riding on whether you open a good or pool or a bad pool. That sucks.
Yeah, you're not wrong there.
So I guess the stakes have a significant impact on whether I like sealed or not. I'm not particularly high on limited GPs unless the format is particularly good for limited. And this format's still up in the if I love it. The draft format is going to be sweet. I guarantee that. I have not played draft, but from the limited games that I have played with sealed, it seems like the draft format is going to be very, very cool.
So this is
Yeah, that's fair. But let's move to something that is a little bit more near and dear to our hearts. Let's move to the cards from Eldraine that we think are, at least in the first week, we think are making an impact in Constructed.
Brazen Borrower.
Yeah, that's the first one. I guess we should
I think that card's really good.
We should do the caveat too that we are looking at it through the lens of Eternal formats. So Modern Legacy.
Yeah, not necessarily Standard. There's a lot of good, because that one fucking artifact, the Signet, is like $20+.
Wait, what? What is it?
The Signet that's about the commander. It adds 1 mana. It's like $25 or
it's the mana rock that is for your commander. Yeah, that card really doesn't impact my life significantly. And that's only available, as far as my knowledge, in the Brawl decks, right?
I believe so. Yeah, I think that's a reason why it's so expensive.
Yes, like that is inflating the price.
All the legendary pretty expensive too.
Yeah, because
from those Brawl decks.
But all of them are very, very good too. And that is another thing that I think we touched upon a little bit earlier, is that they are really pushing the envelope on some of these things. And they're pushing the envelope in a lot of different formats. Like before Commander became a normal thing, even if you said that this mana rock would have existed and you try to explain the concept of Commander, people have been like, that's fucked. That's nuts. It's essentially like a soul ring, or not a soul ring, but like something crazy like that. Like it's one of those absurd mana artifacts that just, it's hard to believe exists. Like it's in the same class as Command Sphere, which if Command Sphere was only printed once,
it'd probably be up there too.
That card would be $50.
Yeah.
Easily, because Command Sphere is just incredible. But it's in that same vein of just mana artifacts that are built for Commander, that are so good in that format, that have really no bearing in any other format. But because Commander is so popular, that drives the price through the roof. And I think, honestly, that is a good reminder to everybody out there who's playing Magic the Gathering, that if you are a person who's competing in events would consider yourself a quote unquote spike, that is a reminder to you that you're not the people that Magic is really being catered toward.
Yeah.
It's being catered towards the casual community, the people who play Commander, the people who play Magic at their kitchen table on a Friday night with their friends, just drinking a couple beers or a couple fucking 7-Ups or whatever.
Yeah, whatever you do.
Yeah, it's catered towards the people who are enjoying Magic for the less competitive side and more for the less of the Magic side and more for the Gathering.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I like that.
Yeah, which, I mean, I'm all for shifting Magic to the Gathering side. because I mean, you and me both, we both like our competitive Magic the Gathering cards.
I also like drafting and with people.
But yeah, holy shit, I think it would be fair to say that you and I would agree that our favorite format might just be Booze Cube.
Oh, for sure, it's my favorite format.
Which is insane.
That's not even a fucking question.
No, that's so obvious that cube, but specifically a cube made by a Magic community member that doesn't have anything to do with the game besides the fact that the rules come from the same place, is our favorite format. So we are very much in the gathering part of the Magic the Gathering category of people.
That may say something about our drinking, but we won't go there today.
Yeah, so that's not a commentary on how much alcohol we consume. That's a commentary on how much we love being with other human beings and also being drunk so with those other human beings.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Maybe we should start playing Booze Cube at our AA meetings.
Yeah. That's a good way to just fucking ruin people's day.
Hey guys, we got this new game for you. Make sure you bring your fifth of vodka.
Fucking case and a half of beer.
Oh, we don't have a problem, I promise.
Yeah. I don't have a problem. You have a fucking problem.
Whoa, no, you don't. No, you have a problem. Yeah, but constructed.
So, yeah, fucking Christ, that was a good little tangent.
God,
I think
we're the worst
probably
podcast on the planet.
you're pretty close to. Brazen Borrower is probably my current front runner for non-standard formats and non-commander formats. That is the mythic 3/1 for 3. So a colorless blue flash flying, can only block creatures with flying 3/1. Pretty good on that face. But the adventure is 1 and a blue instant, and it reads return target non-land permanent and opponent controls to its owner's hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty good tempo on this card. Bounce something, leave up mana to counterspell. They don't play it. Flash pretty much has pseudo.
Yeah, and I think we touched on this card when we did its initial review, and we said, yeah, it's gonna be a great card. It's gonna see play in standard, and it's kind of Vendilion Click-esque style, at least as far as design goes.
Here's one thing that I overlooked. It's not legendary.
No, it is not legendary, and I think we both overlooked that. This card is really, really powerful, and it is already seen impact in Modern. And mind you, we are going off of lists that have 5-0'd in Modern leagues just within the first couple days of it being legal. But there has been a Grixis control deck in Modern that is 5-0'd. The player was Nedyahiski. I apologize if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but Nedyahiski 5-0'd a Modern league with 3 Brazen Borrowers in his main deck in a Grixis control list.
He also is that the same list that was playing the draw 4 cards for 5 mana. Now, granted, it's like 8 mana, but it costs 3 less if they have 7 or more cards or something in their graveyard.
No, that was a different list, but that was another Grixis control list that was playing that card as well.
Yeah, I saw that. That was spicy.
But speaking of we're talking about that Brazen Borrower, that card is really going to see some play. And I think we touched on it before, that it's not as good as Vendilion Click. Just on paper, it is not as good as Vendilion Click. But we both missed, and we both agree that it's not legendary, so that has a big game.
Yes.
And in the current Modern meta, the ability that it has as bouncing something might just be better than Vendilion Click's ability of a pseudo discard because of how quick Modern is.
Yeah.
So I honestly think Brazen Borrower might be in a better spot than Vendilion Click right now.
Right now, probably. That can shift and change constantly, obviously.
Yeah, Modern is constantly evolving.
But this card is good. It does something different. Click obviously hits which is really big.
Yes.
One of the best parts about that is being able to hit the hand, stop some combo decks, have some disruption. This is more disruption for permanent-based decks.
Yeah, what's on the battlefield.
Like hateful artifacts, enchantments, other creatures, bounce something. I'm a big fan right now of, I think you actually came up with the thing that responds to the Liliana discard.
We will, yes.
Like stuff like that when there's nothing in the hand. And it's pretty good tempo we play.
Yeah, this card is, Brazen Bar was is essentially pro Liliana the Veil, because she activates the discard thing. If Brazen Borrower is the last thing in your hand, then sure you get to cast it and then not discard anything and then just kill Liliana on the swing back, hopefully. And then if it's not the last thing in your hand, you get to just discard some other garbage and then flash it in end of turn so they don't get to use sorcery speed removal and then get them, which is a big game, especially in these Grixis control decks, because that's an attrition matchup where you just want to establish card advantage against your opponent, and just that incremental advantage throughout the game is what's going to win you long run.
Yeah, little wins, little winning battles, not necessarily. Well, you do win the war after so many battles you win, but kind of that saying.
Yeah, but it's all about chip shots, not home runs.
Yeah,
where it's like in a lot of matchups in Modern, if like let's say you're playing Scape Shift, and as long as you resolve that Scape Shift or that Primeval Titan, you win that game. These matchups are a lot less about resolving that one big spell and just resolving those little spells and just trading off with your opponent to the point where you come out marginally on top, and those marginally on top interactions build to you having a lot of card advantage over time, and that's how you win.
Yeah, and another thing I was thinking of, this thing is pretty good in like control decks as well. Bounces something of theirs. You can play a sweeper, cast it at your fucking leisure.
Yeah. Whew. This card is really good. I think the non-legendary thing too is something that we definitely missed, but in general, this card is just really freaking good.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. What do you see from this that's having other impact?
As far as Brazen Borrower?
Or a different card.
Okay, so a different card, but let's stay in the Grixis control lane. Let's talk about Drown in the Loch.
Yeah, I'm a real big fan of this card. This card has a lot of game. So this is a blue-black, and it reads choose one. Counter target spell with converted mana cost less than or equal to the number of cards in controller's graveyard, or destroy target creature with converted mana cost less than or equal to the number of cards in its controller's graveyard. I'm a real big fan of this for the mere fact of Modern is generally a pretty fast format. So a lot of spells and creatures that you're going to want to get rid of are not going to have the highest mana cost on them. So this kills Goyfs at 2 mana, kills, Death Shadow, deals with a lot of humans. The one thing that this card is probably not the best against would be like Tron style decks. This card would actually be quite good against like Storm decks. It kills their creatures, it counters important spells.
Oh, this card is fucking nuts, man.
And I never thought that I'd have to say this, but it's also blue and can pitch to force a negation.
Yes, it can pitch to force a negation. And it's something you didn't mention too, that it's bad against, which if this card really gets to the play amount that it could possibly see, we could see an uptick in Death Shadow style decks, because this deck is really, or this card specifically is not great against Delve creatures.
Yeah, kind of shrinks their graveyard.
Yeah, because like this card does exactly. Oh no, it's great against Death Shadow. Like the card itself, because all they have to do is have one creature or one something in their graveyard, whether it be a fetch land, whatever. But this card is like it is the best card against Gurmag Angler, at least on the Gurmag Angler side of things.
Yeah, and that's part of its casting cost, so you can't even counter it as it.
Yeah, because all those spells are already delved away at that point.
Yeah.
So that could be a direct response to if this card really sees a lot of play, which honestly at this point I think could be the case.
Yeah.
I think this card is really that good that it could warp the format where you might see more Gurmag Anglers, more Tassigers, more Hooting Mandrills because of this guy.
I could see that. I'd be fine with that.
I mean, I don't hate it because I also love those spells.
Yeah, those decks will be more interactive, which makes, in my opinion, better Magic.
Yeah, in general, I think I have not historically played decks, at least in Modern, that have good matchups against like the Death Shadow style decks. But if I see those decks come in more and just like stick their foot in the ground, say that we are a force to be reckoned with, That would be a healthy format.
Currently, this is seeing a lot of play in Grixis. I could also see this kind of making an Esper deck.
Yeah,
kind of hit it from both ends. Get the path, get the counter spell / removal spell. This card's very good.
Grixis is the easy fit, right? Like that's the tier, that's the stage 1. Like, what does this card go in that just makes a lot of sense? That's Grixis. Because you're already playing 4 Snapcasters. Most decks are playing JVP. Like they're playing
number of hand disruption.
Yeah, exactly. They're playing a number of discard spells that they want to turn 1. They want to get the Thoughtseize or Inquisition off. Even like the Ops to a point where they're going to be filling their graveyard with fetch lands and instant sorcery speed spells.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this card is, oh boy, this is something that we're going to have to worry about in Modern for as long as Modern is going to exist until eventually Magic gets to the point where this ability is going to be printed on a like 1 blue-black hybrid spell.
Yeah, it seems good. I really like it. I think it's going to be a big mainstay in Modern. Cards like this generally always are, just because they do multiple things.
Good, and I love that. I love that this format or this set can print a card at uncommon that is now just ubiquitous. It is something that is going to be, in my mind, ubiquitous in Modern.
Yeah.
That's great. Like, yeah, I'm all for that. Change the formats, not through big splashy things like Modern Horizon. Change things with standard sets that are this kind of unassuming blue-black spell that just does it all, that gives a lot to decks that didn't have it before.
Yeah, it's a removal counter spell.
Yep.
Whatever floats your...
Oh, that certainly does float my fancy.
I combined 2 of them there just for you.
Oh, I like that.
Float your boat.
And tickles my fancy.
So
There's plenty of things that tickle my fancy, bud.
Float your fancy now.
Ooh. Are there any other Eldraine cards that you think have particularly impacted constructed formats outside of Standard?
Currently not yet. I think that that white enchantment, that'll be a pretty decent sideboard card. Deafening Silence.
Deafening Silence, yes.
Not much to really talk about. It's good against Storm, good against decks that want to play a lot of spells right in a row, or multiple spells per turn.
That's a meta call for sure. That's definitely a good meta call for any white deck.
Yeah, just another super hateful white enchantment.
Yeah, I like that card a lot.
Solid, simple, perfect.
Yes, and white cards that do things are some of my favorite cards in all of Magic the Gathering.
Weird.
Yeah, shocking. We've also seen not anything that is impacted yet, but Matt mentioned earlier when we were talking about spoilers that Emery, Lurker of the Lock, I think that thing has combo potential. And I was not on board before. Now I think I'm slowly starting to get it.
Has there been a deck with that sucker yet?
There's been a couple decks that I've seen with Jeskai Ascendancy with that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
So Matt, you have solidified yourself as the combo member of the Fetch and Shock podcast.
I didn't think that was in fucking question.
No, it really was not, because I am the using the attack step, very straightforward aggro to mid-range guy, and you are the degenerate combo guy.
Yeah, I kind of figured this would be some play. It might not be the best combo deck, but it puts 4 cards from your library into your graveyard, which turns out is pretty fucking decent. You can cast cards from your graveyard with it, and you can keep doing that with Jeskai Ascendance.
And you know what's great? That I have actually seen standard decks trying to do this.
That's spicy. I like that.
Yeah, with even with the card Mox Amber, which I am historically not very high on.
Yeah, this is a legendary creature, so it adds taps for blue.
So at very least taps for blue. And Stone Coil Serpent. That's a card you talked about last time because of the art, but also that card is potentially really powerful with Emery. It is the X mana 0/0 artifact snake creature. It has protection from multicolors, and it also has reach and trample, and it enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. So yeah, you just get to cast it for X from Emery, and just it doesn't get bounced by Teferi, which is big in standard. And
I guess that is pretty good in standard. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that card is very.
You can cast it from your graveyard as a whatever.
Exactly. Because
Okay.
yes, now we're picking up on what we're putting down.
That's a very subtle thing to
Yeah, that's a cheeky boy.
compare to just winning.
Yeah, yeah, big time. And so there are cards from this format that are seeing, even in the before the release, seeing constructed impact, which I like. The one card that I am not seeing as much of as I thought, and I think people are lower on it than I think even anybody previously expected, is Once Upon a Time.
Yeah, a little upset about that. I thought it was going to be pretty big too.
I think we all did.
I
And
think
it's
I could
go
see
ahead.
a meta game where you're like main decking Force of Vigors. I think this gets a little better.
Yeah, and the big thing that I've been looking at, just because that's the crowd that I follow on Twitter and interact with, is the SCG Tour group. And this coming weekend is SCG Philly, and that is a team constructed event where there's standard, modern, legacy, and people have been looking for that card because everybody seems to be sold out of it. People have been looking for that card left and right on Twitter.
I am a little bit upset that this card isn't seeing more play. I thought it would see a decent amount of play. It lets you cut down on lands.
The decks that I've been seeing people test it in is standard, and it just doesn't seem like it's the card you want to be playing in standard. It just seems too slow.
That's surprising. I'm pretty sure the Gilded Goose will some mod or some standard play.
Oh, the Gilded Goose is insane. Anything that aggressively costed that does the things that it does are immediately just going to be part of the texture of standard moving forward.
Yeah. Another thing that I think we'll see play, it might take a little bit, but the Royal Scion, the blue-red Planeswalker.
You're finally on the Royal Scions bus.
I think it's decent. I don't think it's ridiculous. I think it's a very fair Planeswalker, except that it's fucking can come in at 6 loyalty if you really want it to.
That's the thing, man. That's what makes me think that this Planeswalker has a lot of potential, is that it's essentially unkillable at its casting cost.
Yeah, it's pretty busted. And they're both plus abilities, just the other thing. At worst, you loot, or you give something +2/+0, first strike, trample, which is kind of crazy.
And and then that's at worst.
Yeah.
Like that's the crazy part. At worst, you're doing that. At best, you're coming down and just looting for 3 mana, and then have a Planeswalker at 6 mana that if your opponent can kill that on their turn 4, let's say you're on the draw, and they can kill that on their turn 4, like they at very least are dedicating a lot of resources to it, or like they're just gonna run you over regardless of what you cast.
Well, I think this is currently not the best because it gets hit by Abrupt Decay and it gets hit by Assassin's Trophy, both of which are relatively common.
Sure.
Right now, with Jund being pretty popular in Modern.
Okay. But in that same vein, I'm okay with Jund not killing my creatures and killing this. And if they are focused on killing my creatures, the ability to continue to draw and to loot with the Royal Scion
seems pretty strong. Yeah.
Yeah, seems okay. It can smooth out your draws and get you to at least a point where you can attempt to win that game. There are some times where you're playing against Jund where it's just going to feel unwinnable. But cards like this get you to a point where you can at least try to claw back or even win that game outright.
And if you do get to ultimate this, you just draw 4 cards and then ping something.
Yeah.
At least 4.
Ooh, boy. That ultimate is insane, you know.
Yeah, most likely you're going to ping something for at least 5.
Yeah.
Would be my guess.
You're going to have at least something in your hand at that point.
Well, if you do it on your turn, you draw for turn, draw 4 cards, ping something.
Yeah. Yep.
Anything else that you saw that...
I mean, the last thing I want to talk about is something that we talked about before we actually started recording. And it's something that you're adding to the deck that you're currently building for Modern. And that from my my recommendation. And it is it's Oko, Thief of the Crowns. And I think across formats, this is going to be the most impactful card from this set.
That's a bold claim. I don't think it's that ridiculous in Modern.
I think it is. I think this gives maybe in Modern this card isn't as good as the blue-black Drown, but man, this card is really powerful. This card is really, really good.
Oh, it's for sure powerful. One of the better abilities, I think, is the +1. Say they have a Death Shadow. If your opponent has a Death Shadow, you can just make it a 3/3 instead of a fucking 12/12 or whatever the fuck it would be.
Yeah, because it does say target creature
Loses
or
all
artifact
abilities,
loses all abilities. And you know what? That also brings in a relevant ability that it has against any kind of like Wurza style deck, where if in your particular strategy where you're running Oko, if they have like an ensnaring bridge, target their ensnaring bridge, make it a 3.
That's not an ability. It still becomes a 3/3.
But does it lose all? It loses everything, even static ability.
Not sure how that would work, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it even loses static abilities, so it just becomes a 3/3 elk.
Yeah, that seems good.
Yeah, just like turning your opponent's ensnaring bridge into an elk seems pretty good.
Yeah, I didn't think of it in that aspect, I guess.
Yeah, like it can do that. It really can. Like, which is nuts to me. Yeah, I think Oko is the truth. I think this card. There was even a couple tweets, and we'll get that to it in the shoutouts for later in this episode. There are people testing this in multiple formats, Modern, Legacy, and it's making a huge splash in Standard now. Like, this card is nuts. I would be surprised if a couple months down the road, if there wasn't at least a lot of talk about banning Oko in Standard.
Think so?
Yep.
Just
I think
makes
it's
3/3s.
I mean, but everybody wants to run blue-green because of how powerful this card is.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, there's only other 2 decks that aren't running at least blue-green in some sort of their combination, and it is a red-black aggro deck that is just trying to kick your teeth in as quick as they possibly can, and then an Esper-style stacks deck with the stacked card, the enchantment. Yeah, Doom Foretold. So it's Esper stacks that are trying to play that card and then just slowly, incrementally wipe your board while also using their counter spells and removal spells to remove you from things that you can do and just blow you out. Which I love the fact that stacks is a term that's being used in a Standard archetype, because this is the first time since forever that's been something that people want to refer to something as.
Yeah.
Like, before
Stacks are
actual
fun.
smoke stacks, when's the last time somebody wanted to use stacks to refer to a deck?
Never. That's why the deck got its...
Yeah, I love that. Because stacks is a great archetype. And so now new players can kind of get indoctrinated into Magic and see, oh, this is called stacks. And they kind of figure it out through that, oh, this stacks thing is something that's been in Magic historically for forever, essentially.
Yeah, it's been around for a long ass time. There's always been like the prison decks.
Yeah, I just love the fact that they're calling it. That's just it's
good.
A big thing for me, and I love it. And I've always been a huge proponent of using the new terms for the guilds or new terms for whatever, where people used to call rug, but now they call it teamer. And there's some purists that are just like, no, we call it rug because I am old and that's all I care about is keeping my heritage of Magic. No, it's called teamer now, and we can call it teamer because now it has a name instead of rug.
Yeah.
So I'm into that. So now that stacks is being reestablished as an archetype, people can relearn about the origins of stacks and get into that, especially if somebody's into this archetype that are just like, oh, Doom Foretold is great. And they start playing Standard and then Doom Foretold is the deck that they like. And then they get into Magic and they're like, oh, wait, the Abyss is a card. And then Smokestacks is a card. And they can get into that because it's not my personal thing that I want to do. But I recognize that people in Magic want to do that thing. And now they can discover other cards from the history of Magic that do that thing, and they can get excited about it. And I love that.
This is one Standard deck that I could get behind.
The Stacks deck?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love that you're finally being like, you know what? Standard, not too bad. I'll fuck with this.
No, I won't, but I said I could get behind it. Because I've gone down that fucking rabbit hole.
We've both been down it too many times.
Where now I'm like, yep, cool story and all, but I'm not even gonna fuck with it.
All right. Is there any other cards that are seeing impact in constructed formats that you're particularly interested?
I think that was everything.
All right.
That I had it.
Before...
I'm surprised I didn't see the land, the green land that you pay for and add 6 green.
Oh, the Primeval Titan Castle.
Yeah, it's a good fucking name for it. I like that.
The Castle of Primetime.
Yes, Castle Primetime.
That card is going to see more play as Primetime seems to get more play, but I don't know when that's going to be the case.
Yeah, I don't know either. It might never also see play, but
what the blue common land, that card's nuts, and that's already seeing impact in Legacy. Like, people have already been testing in Legacy. We just don't have very much data because Legacy isn't highly played. But I have seen people in the community who play Miracles have been playing that card and have been loving it. So
that and pretty good in Pauper with Deprive.
Yes, Deprive. Turns out you can return a permanent you control in order to counter a thing.
Yeah, return a land to counter targets.
Yeah, and you know what you can do the next time you play that land that you return? Now?
Get your fucking Deprive back.
Get Deprive back. Like, you could just loop your Deprives. That's so fucking disgusting.
It'd be really funny to me.
How is Pauper the most broke format?
Because they broke cards by making them fucking commons way back when.
I love that. I love it so much. I hate it, but I also love it.
It is pretty.
Well, the last thing I want to touch on, as far as Magic the Gathering globally is concerned, is the Eldraine Deluxe boxes, because that's been things that I wanted to talk about. We just never had an opportunity to discuss. And man, this is a sham. It's like a pyramid scheme, but in Magic.
It reminds me of the other ones that I forget what fucking set it was, but they ran out of the box.
It's disgusting, man. I hate it. And the thing that I saw today that really pushed me over the edge was one of the tweets that actual Wizards made. So let's start it out with discussing these deluxe collection boxes. So the Throne of Eldraine Deluxe Collection, it's a box that you can buy, and it comes with 16 Eldraine packs. It has one binder that's themed to the Thrones of Eldraine. It has one foil Garruk Cursed Huntman borderless Planeswalker card. It has a artist print of the Garruk. It has one non-foil version of a booster box Kenrith card. It has a 3x3 Thrones of Eldraine foil sheet. So it's like a 3x3 cut foil sheet from this set. I don't know if that has any specific cards linked to it. And it has an arena code, which grants you access to some extended versions of some of the cards in the set. And that's it. That's what it comes with. And if you had to guess the MSRP on this particular product, what you as a Magic consumer, what would you think it would be?
$150.
Yeah, try $450.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's the price.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, what a fucking insane thing for them to fucking charge for something like that.
Yeah, that's so dumb.
Yeah, it's like they're turning Magic the Gathering into like some kind of special collector's edition thing where it's a child's card game. Boiled down, it's a child's card game.
Not even boiled down. It's a fucking child's card game.
Not even yeah, you're right. Not even boiled down. Just at its fucking bare bones. But my favorite thing in the entire world is that the Magic the Gathering Twitter, the verified Magic the Gathering Twitter tweeted that, and I will read it verbatim. So begin quote. If your order is failing to process, please contact your financial institution or credit card company for assistance in validating the charge. Thank you for your patience. End quote. The actual Magic Twitter tweeted that. Like, this thing is so overcosted that your bank will think, no, dude, this is a joke. This is not real.
Yeah, you're not spending $450 on this bullshit.
This is fraudulent. Like, get the fuck out of here.
That's actually really funny and makes me happy on the inside because that's ridiculous.
What is going on?
That's fucking so dumb.
What have we come to?
Why do you got to tell me this shit? Because it just pisses me off.
That's what I'm here for, man. I'm trying to get you worked
fucking
up. And this is prime time workout.
That's the fucking way to do it.
I love it, man. Oh my God. This is so nuts. Like, you're getting so little for such a large amount of money that, oh, Jesus.
Yeah, that's not worth it at all.
Like, if you showed me a website that said, hey, would you like to gamble on something that you're guaranteed to lose on? I'm going to turn on that 100% of the time.
Yeah, thanks, but no fucking thanks.
Yeah, I'm going to say no. Yeah, I appreciate the offer, but also eat shit. I don't want to deal with that. But that's a Wizards. They're saying, hey, buy this thing. It's not worth it.
Yeah, fucking Christ.
Yeah, so this is the state of Magic the Gathering. It's just like they removed the expeditions from packs. And sure, those were a really cool thing to do, but those are obviously not sustainable. But stuff like this,
no, not at all,
is even less sustainable because even from the jump, it doesn't make sense.
I can't see paying that much for that little.
Yeah, and they're like high profile YouTubers, like the Professor, doing videos on this product specifically, saying, this is dumb, don't buy it.
Yeah.
When you have your biggest advocates for the game just explicitly making things that say this is not good, what are you doing? Like, what in the hell made you think that this was a good idea from the jump?
Just trying to fucking make a shit ton of money is what they're trying to do.
Well, it's gonna end up fucking backfiring in the long run because it just makes no fucking. I hate it.
No, I agree with you, not at all.
Yeah. So if any of you are out there are considering buying the deluxe edition or deluxe collector's edition of Thrones of Eldraine, I highly recommend you don't do that.
Yeah, tell them to fuck off.
Yeah, just don't. Just on a scale of 1 to don't, fucking don't. But the last thing I want to cover before we get into the bare bones of the episode, the thing that everybody stays around for, I want to talk about the Content Creator Community Cup that we are in.
Oh yeah, what?
Yeah, hell yeah. We're here to absolutely destroy the competition in the Content Creator Community Cup. Yeah, or die trying. Amen. But we actually got more information on our specific deck building constraints, which we have not shared yet. But our specific deck building constraints for this particular round is that the format is Peasant. So for everybody who doesn't know, Peasant is a format where only uncommons and commons are legal. For this specific one, it is built so that each deck cannot contain more than 5 uncommons and less than 55 commons. So you can only have 5 uncommons and the rest of it has to be, or only 55 uncommons and the rest of it has to be 55 common. And then we were also, in addition to that, issued 2 uncommon cards that we have to at least have 1 copy of one of them in our 60 card main deck. And our cards were Lock Dragon and Rampart Smasher. So Lock Dragon is one of the new cards from Eldraine. It's an uncommon, and
let me save you some time. They're both pretty shitty.
Yeah, they're not great. I mean, they're both not awesome. Yeah, so Lock Dragon is a 3/2 flyer for 4 blue-red hybrid. And then when it enters the battlefield or attacks, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. So mediocre at best. Our other card, Rampart Smasher, is a 4-mana 5/5 giant. And then it says that it cannot be blocked by night or walls. So it cannot be blocked by night creatures or wall creatures, which is, something that exists.
Yeah, probably one of the worst texts to have on a to play.
Kind of irrelevant.
Not the worst thing.
No, not the worst, but thing. Certainly not the best. So I have been brewing tirelessly to try to figure out what the fuck we are going to do for this round of the Content Creator Community Cup, which is a quick shout out. If you didn't listen to last episode, we gave a little preview on it. The Content Creator Community Cup is run by creators on Twitter and on YouTube. It's just something that they get a bunch of content creators in on. that they get to interact with each other and play games and try to build their community base. So anybody that we're interacting with, I highly recommend you go and check out, because they're all great small content creators that they're doing great work.
Yeah, similar to us, only probably better.
Well, better in which way? Better that they're producing better content? Yes.
Yes.
But better in the fact that they could drink us under the table? No.
No. Not a fucking...
Oh my god, we'll crush them. Like, if it's a Magic playing competition, sure, maybe they'll get us. But if it's a beer drinking competition,
That's what literally... this is, isn't it?
Oh, wait. No, it's a Magic competition.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, we're screwed.
Well,
maybe we can try to finagle something for the final round once we crush everybody else with our Magic the Gathering prowess, that we can somehow make it a beer drinking competition in the end, and then we can just solidify our victory.
A drink per card drawn.
So is that 7 drinks that you're in your opening?
Yes, and if you actually...
you mulligan.
You have to take 7 more.
And then what if you put one on the bottom? Is that an additional drink?
You can give a drink.
Oh, you give a drink for each mulligan. Oh, I actually kind of love that.
Spicy,
oh, that's
right?
Brilliant.
See, my first rodeo.
But again, I've been tireless slaving over some decks that I would want to play for this. And my initial thought, and it also in conversation with Matt, our initial thought was like a blue-red spells creatures deck that matters for how many cards are drawn.
We have since created something better.
Yes. So there are 2 decks that I'm kind of deciding whether I want to play one or the other. I'm going to talk about the former from what I've decided, because it is the less exciting of the 2. But turns out when you don't get to play rares and mythics, you don't get to play a lot of good spells.
True story.
So I've wanted to play a red-green like beatdown deck. And this is the first time Matt's ever here.
Yeah, I haven't heard this idea. It's already not as good.
No, it's really not. But a red-green beatdown deck is what I've kind of decided is like a generically good deck to play. And the idea is to get some hard-hitting creatures on the battlefield early, and then follow it up with some really aggressively costed spells later in the game. The first card that I have in the deck is Wildwood Tracker. So it is...
I don't even know what the fuck that is.
Yeah, because it's a common from Eldraine. So why would you?
Fair.
So it is a one green mana for a 1/1, but whenever Wildwood Tracker attacks or blocks, if you control another non-human creature, it gets a +1/+1. So essentially it's a 1 mana 2/2.
Always good in aggressive decks.
Yeah. So 1 mana 2/2 seems really good. I've also been thinking of Crashing Drawbridge, which is a 2 mana 0/4 defender, but it taps and gives creatures you control haste until the end of turn. Woodland Mystic, which is a 2 mana add a 1 green. Grumgully, which we've talked about, which is 3 mana 3/3. Other non-human creatures get a +1/+1 when they enter the battlefield. Rumbleboat Runner, 3 mana 3/3. The Fierce Witch Stalker, which is a 4 mana 4/4 trample that when it enters the battlefield you make a food. Frenzied Arnix, which is a 4 mana 3/3 with Riot from what is it? Return to Innistrad?
I believe so.
Yes, and it has an ability that gives it a +3/+0, and then the Rampart Smasher, which is one of the cards that's mandatory. It's a 4 mana 5/5. So just an aggressive red-green deck that is just really built on getting creatures on the battlefield, turning them sideways, and hitting your opponent.
Yeah, I like that much less.
Yeah. So that is our safe bet. But honestly, at this point, and anybody who is out there who's listening to us, that is our opponents, which I believe we got our opponents today. Our opponents are Team 1, which I'm not going to give their names just in case they're listening to this and they don't know. But fair. Team 1, you have to look forward to this. Round 1. Matt, we're playing Mill.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, we fucking are. We are playing Persistent Petitioner's Mill. So, Persistent Petitioner is 1 in a blue for a 1/3. that for 1, you can tap it and target player puts the top 2 cards of their library into their graveyard. And then also you can tap 4 untapped advisors you control and target player puts the top 12 cards of their library in their. And in addition to that, you can have any number of persistent petitioners in your deck.
Any number of them.
Yeah. So we're maxing out on these boys. In our current list, we have 22 persistent petitioners in our deck.
That's currently 22.
I love it. I just for those other notable cards is our 1 Lock Dragon that we have to have.
Which is the best card in the deck.
Yeah, fuck yes. By a country mile. We also have Sagero Denizen, which is a Pauper All-Star in the Flash deck.
Yeah, 2/3 when a blue creature enters, mill 2.
Yep. And then Merfolk Secret Keeper, for those of you who don't know, because you haven't played Eldraine yet, and also haven't picked this card because this card is bad. It's 1 mana, 0/4, but it also has the adventure mechanic that says, for 1 mana at sorcery speed, target player puts the top 4 cards of their library in. So we're just going deep on the mono blue mill strategy.
Now, if the opponents are listening, what are we actually? Are we actually?
Well, if our opponents are listening, we're actually just going to play rares in our deck, and that's our secret to winning.
That's the secret tech.
Yeah, the super secret tech is that we are allowed to have 5 uncommons and 55 commons, but also we're going to play a 80 card list, and the rest of them are going to be rares.
That'd be very surprising.
You're right. No, fuck it. For our opponents out there that are listening, we're playing mill.
Yeah, nerds, bring it.
Deal with it. Fucking bring a 70 card deck. I please.
You're gonna have a bad time.
No, I love the fact that was like one of our first ideas that when we started talking about it, we're just like, yeah, we're doing that. That's stupid.
Yeah, just went all in instantly.
Yep, and we're just running it back with our first idea. Like, why think about something better when the first idea that we had was perfect?
This is the best idea, yeah. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Don't fix it. Amen. Persistent back texture is the king. And there's no rules against it. That's the thing. There's no rules against it, so we're going to make it a thing, and then we're going to establish the rule.
Yeah, they're going to be like, yeah, you can't do that. I'm fine with that.
That's going to be our goal throughout this competition.
Just get shit broken.
Finding every loophole, busting it wide open, so that in the future they have to make loopholes.
Yeah, that's actually really funny. I like that a lot.
Like, yeah, we're the people who ruin the format and make it change. We're the people who started playing the Hogak deck.
I wouldn't go that far.
Wait, you're saying Persistent Practitioner is not exactly Hogak?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
I disagree.
You're such a fuck.
Yes,
so, bring it, nerds. You know what's coming.
Oh my god, is this the end of the episode?
I fucking think that it is.
Oh god, that means we have a game coming up.
Yeah, it's your bitch ass turn. Oh. I swear to God, though, if you get fucking fluffy cards, I'm gonna be super pissed.
You know what? I feel it in my heart of hearts that this week I'm going to get some slow pitches.
I fucking hope not.
Yeah, so for everybody out there who's listening, who doesn't know what's coming up, which by this point you should, we're gonna play our little game we like to call Accumulated Knowledge. So every week we play a game, and 9 times out of 10, it's going to be this game where one of us asks the other a random card generated by the Scryfall website. The person asks the name of the card, and the other person has to give the mana cost of the card. If they get it right, they get a point, and if they don't, they cry in shame, and they have to just deal with that pain until the next week.
The only thing, one caveat, lands are no-go. We don't do lands.
No, we do not do basic lands or any other lands. It has to have an actual mana cost.
The mana cost can be 0, but it can't be because of a land.
Sure, if we get like Pact of Negation, that would be
Yes.
I'm glad we actually established that. We've never established that before.
Yeah, but we always just say, yeah, fuck you, you're not getting a land.
I can't wait till I get Pact of Negation.
I'll literally freak out if you get Pact of Negation.
So I have to get 3 correct to win, and I also get 3 hints throughout where I can ask for the text of the card, the power and toughness if it's a creature, the creature type, whatever. So, Matt, are you ready to fire it off?
I am ready. Let me pull up Scryfall here. I guess I could have done that while you were talking. All right, so your first card is Serrated Arrows.
Serrated Arrows? Oh my god. This is a card from a recent set.
You tell me, you fuck.
I am telling you. Isn't Serrated Arrows? Oh my god. I'm blowing it because I don't know if it's one colorless or two colorless. Oh no, it's not from a recent set. Serrated Arrows, isn't that the one that fucking you remove a arrow counter from it and give -1/-1?
I'm waiting for you to tell me, Sunshine.
Oh god, no. This is something I'm unsure about.
Would you like to use a hint?
Fuck.
I sure thought you'd get this one, like right off the bat.
Oh my god, why do I not know this? I should know this one immediately.
You should.
Oh man, it's because it's either an old school card that I should know or a new card that I also should know. Oh shit.
Do you want a hint?
I should probably take a hint on this, yeah.
What do you want?
Give me the text of it, I guess.
Okay, do you want the errata? No, they're the same. All right, so
so it is an old card, but also a new card.
Serrated Arrows enters the battlefield with 3 arrowhead counters. At the beginning of your upkeep, if there are no arrowhead counters on Serrated Arrows, sack it. You can tap, remove an arrowhead counter from Serrated, put a -1/-1 counter on
it is the old school card. Oh shit! So it's it's 3 or 4 mana. Oh my god! Because it was from that fucking format where you had to have at least one of the card from a set in the deck.
What?
Isn't it? Isn't that what it's from? It's from an old set. And back in I want to say it was like block constructed. You had to have at least one card from each set in the deck, so people played Serrated Arrows in that. So they met that requirement because it was the only card from. It was like Homelands or something that was just fucking abysmal.
I'm gonna need an answer here, Sunshine.
I think it's 4 colorless or something. If it's the card that I'm thinking of, it's 4 colorless.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Okay, cool.
4. This is really big in Pauper too.
Oh, there you go.
But yes, it's from Homelands and then Time Shifted.
There we go. I know that there was something.
And then it's in a couple dual decks and shit like that.
Yeah, I knew it was. Yeah, it's an old card that there was some block constructed thing where that was the one card that people played in the deck because it was the only card from Homelands that was worth playing.
Yes, that's exactly correct.
Yes. Okay, that's the only reason why I know that card.
Yeah, you should have got that one way sooner, just because you play Pauper.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so you ready for your next one, Sunshine?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this one is called Hint of Insanity.
Oh, Jesus. Hint of Insanity. Well, it's blue or black, but it's just a hint of it, so it's not very expensive, right?
I don't know, maybe.
Oh, I don't even know if I want to waste a hint on that. That doesn't even seem like something I would want to do. Ah, man. Oh,
you tell me, bucko.
Should I waste a hint on this?
Should you?
Probably not. Oh, man. Hint of Insanity? Is it 1 and a black?
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, that's sure. Why not? Fuck. Damn it.
It is 2 and a black.
2 and a black. Should do.
So it is a sorcery. Target player reveals his or her hand. That player discards from it all non-land cards with the same name as another card as... Hold on. This is a fucking wordy card. Target player reveals his or her hand. That player discards from it all non-land cards with the same name as another card in his or her hand.
Oh.
So it gets pairs and trips and quads.
Sure. It's kind of like a Cabal Ritual kind of.
Yeah.
Or not a Cabal Ritual, Cabal Therapy kind of thing.
Sort of.
Oh,
for
boy.
3 mana and real shitty.
What's this from?
Odyssey.
Ugh. Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah, a little rough.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I wouldn't have wasted one on that either.
All right, slow pitch me. Come on, give me something easy.
You have Autumn Willow.
Oh my god, Autumn Willow?
Autumn Willow. This is actually kind of funny.
Oh my god, it sounds green. Does it?
You would think green? That.
Are you sure you're not giving me a land?
I might be. Just throwing you a curveball. You can guess 0.
No, because I don't think that you would do that to me. Because that's breaking the rules. Oh my god, Autumn Willow? Oh my god. Can I get a hint?
What would you like?
Give me the text of the card, because I feel... Oh my god, I don't even... Yeah, sure, give me the text.
Cannot be the target of spells or effects. For a green, target player may target Autumn Willow with spells or effects until end of turn.
Anybody can play that effect?
Does not say that.
Oh, God.
I can give you the errata text too if you want it.
Sure. Yeah. Sure.
Shroud. Until end of, and then a green, until end of turn, Autumn Willow can be the target of spells or abilities controlled by target player as though they not have.
Oh, it's a target player. So, like, if it had Shroud, but then for a green, you can enchant it or something. Just for the turn.
Yes.
Oh, my God. It's got to be something stupid expensive, right?
I don't know.
It's probably like a 5-mana 1.
Well, let's be very obvious. I do know, but I'm not going to tell your ass.
Because you're looking at it. Yeah, that makes sense. It's got to be like a 5-mana 1. I guarantee it's stupid. That's a very green thing. So I'm going to say 3 green.
Is that your final answer, sir?
Yeah, it totally is.
Well, you would be correct.
No way.
You fucked up.
God damn it.
It is actually 4 green.
Oh my God.
4/4 legendary creature. Well, it's from Homelands, which is funny that we had a second card from Homelands.
Can I possibly get this fucking?
Well, there's only like 3 more of them, so. But it is a summon legend. It is errated as legendary creature avatar.
Fuck,
It's actually why I laughed that you had 2 home cards.
Yeah, because you know what? I would have 2 homelands. The fact, honestly, I'm going to take it as a moral victory that I got something that close.
You did get pretty close. Ooh, this next one's going to be rough.
What is it?
Seasoned Tactician.
Oh my God. Oh boy, that kind of sounds like a white card, honestly.
You tell me. Could be red, could be blue, could be green, could be black. Fuck, man, it could even be colorless.
And Tactician. You know what's honestly super funny? I think this might be a popper card. Okay, well, I mean, at this point, like, it's do or die, so I need to hint. Give me the text.
3 colorless mana. Exile the top 4 cards of your library. The next time a source of your choice would deal damage to you this turn, prevent that damage.
Oh my God, are you serious? What? Mill 3?
You do not mill 3. You actually remove the top 4 cards of your library from the game.
So you exile 4 cards.
You exile 4 cards.
Exile a top 4, and then you prevent damage. Oh, this has got to be an old one.
I'll give you a free hint. It's not new. It's not from Eldraine.
The wording of it did not 100% give that away.
I'm actually reading the exact text from the card.
So can I get a free one? Is the errated text exile the top 4 cards of your library?
Exile top 4 cards of your library. The next time a source of deal damage this turn, prevent that damage.
I mean, that sounds like an enchantment, right? Yeah, it seems. I mean, the exile the top cards means it's probably black. Or no, it's blue, black, or white. That's my initial thought. And I'm leaning towards white because of the prevent damage, because there's no way a black spell would do that. And there's no way, I don't know, it's hard to say that a blue spell would do that, especially if it's an old card. Like, preventing damage is almost exclusively green and white. But the fact that it exiles the top cards of your library makes me think it's got to be white. So it's an enchantment that does that. It's not going to be just one white. So it's going to be like, so it's exile top 4, prevent damage that would be dealt
from the next source of your choice.
So it's like target source of your choice.
Yes. A source of your choice would deal damage to you this turn.
So prevent the damage target source would deal to you this.
Yes.
Cool. So it's a white enchantment is what I've boiled it down to. And because you said it's old, which means it's not new, because you said it's not new, which means it's old, which means it's aggressively, or not aggressively costed, poorly costed. So I don't know. It's either 3 white or 1 white. I don't know.
I need an answer here, bruh.
2 white. 2 white seems.
2 colorless white or white?
Yeah,
white?
No. 2 colorless and a white for an enchantment that does that.
You, sir, are incorrect.
Huh? What? Fuck. What's the mana cost?
2 white. You got it.
So I got it. Okay. Yeah. Fuck.
It is actually Summon Tactician, you fucking idiot.
No way. It's a creature that does that?
It's a 1/3 creature.
Wow, that's actually really good for that era. What era? Okay, hold on. What era is it?
Alliance.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, can you believe that Force of Will and that creature were printed in the same set?
In the same set, yes. Funny.
That makes you want to fucking shoot myself.
That's why Force of Will was not broken in that format, because I'm going to waste 2 cards to counter that.
Yeah, I'm going to wait. Let me, for blue, or for 1 life and another blue card in my hand, you don't get your 1/3 that mills you for 4. Oh boy. Wow, that was a good one.
That was a good one.
I totally sniped that one. I 100% thought it was an enchantment.
It does sound like a fucking enchantment. You've got to be fucking kidding me.
What's the next one?
It's another fucking homeland.
You're kidding me.
No.
God damn it. Why is this happening to me?
What is the odds? Do that math.
After I just did a little bit of math right there, it's 1 in a million.
Yeah, well, it fucking happened. This is your last one, too.
What is it?
This one is on Zerin. I'm going to spell this for you.
Okay.
AN-ZERRRIN ruin.
Oh, god damn it. Do I have a hint left?
You have one hint left.
Give it to me. I need the text of that. There's no way.
Choose a creature type. Creatures of that type do not untap during their controller's untap phase. Errata, when it enters the battlefield, choose creature type.
Yes.
Creatures of the chosen type don't untap during their
fucking
controller's
way.
untap step.
No way I know this card. Holy shit, I know this card.
How?
From Commander. Oh
this
my
card
god.
is in 0 commander decks.
No, I know this card exactly from Commander because it's in tribal Commander decks and I know it because of the art. Because the art is like these green pillars with faces. Oh my god, I'm just trying to think. I know it's a red card. I know it's a red card because the art is so good with contrast. I want to say this art actually just sold like a month ago on the MTG Art Market Twitter Facebook page. I actually think that's where I probably know it from.
Why would a tribal deck play this card?
Because I think it's like, is the text target creature can't be blocked or target creature can't attack?
No, choose a creature type. Creatures of that type do not untap.
Do not untap
during their controller's untap step.
Maybe it's not the tribal commander. Maybe it's like the group hug commander. I know this card. I know it's a red enchantment. I might be fabricating where I got it from at least the I know I've seen it in decks, but I've only seen it in decks because this card recently, the art for this card was recently posted on MTG Art Mark. I know it's a red enchantment because I know the art distinctly. And I know it has red in its mana cost. But I don't know if it's 1 in a red or 2 in a red. It's one of the two. Or 1 red or 2 red.
I'm waiting for you, sunshine.
Oh, fuck. Because I know the art. The art is like these dumb fucking green pillars with their faces. Shit. I just know this art. Fuck, man. I think it's 2 in a red. Yeah, 2 in a red. My final answer.
Final answer, 2 in a red?
Sure. Fuck! Is it 1 in a red?
2 red.
Or, yeah, that's what I meant. 2 red.
Oh, that's what you meant.
Yes.
Yeah, you fuck after I tell you.
I mean, that's what I said before, right?
No, you said 2 in a red.
Well, I mean, but when I was initially talking about it.
You fucking lost, you nerd.
God damn it. I did say that I was talking about 2 red. Am I right with the art?
Yes.
It's these fucking derpy looking pillars. Because it's what you said, it's Homelands?
Yes. Do you want to know what the most expensive card in Homelands is?
What, isn't it like Goblin Grenade or something? Not Goblin.
Take a fucking guess.
I can't remember what it is. I should know this.
Take a fucking guess.
Oh, it's something. Is it Hymn to Torok?
No.
What is it?
Merchant Scroll.
Oh, Merchant Scroll. Yes. I gotta love that card. I have Whiteboard Merchant.
It's the worst thing you could ever told me.
No, Whiteboard is the best. We know this already. Fuck. I definitely meant 2 in a red, but I will take the L because I spoke incorrectly.
Yeah, you fucked up. I even asked you if that was your final answer.
Yeah, because I'm an idiot. Because I was thinking, I'm 100% I'm just fixated on the art. Because I know exactly what the art is.
Yeah, you got the art spot on.
That's the only reason why I know it is because of the art. Because that card is garbage.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
God damn it.
Well, motherfucker.
So I guess, fuck, I lost. So, as custom around here, you get the shout out, you fuck.
Our shout out is Andre Biaggi.
Yes.
Sorry if I'm fucking that up. Sorry.
I mean, I think that's how I pronounce it.
But he is on Twitter at Capolo. That is at Kapolo.
Yes, and he is one of our lovely partners in the very first round of the Content Creator Community Cup.
Go fucking check him out.
Yeah, he's one of the homies.
He's on the fucking champs.
Yeah, he is.
We're the fucking champ.
As far as I know, he is the best rugby player that I've ever met. Yeah. And I also have never met him.
Well, I've actually beat players, so I can't say that.
I've never met him, but I'm assuming he's a good player because he's a coach.
Hey, if you can't do, coach. If you can't coach, Coach Jim.
Hey, there you go.
Just kidding.
The age-old adage.
Way to fuck with people you don't know.
But he's one of the members of our first team for the Content Creator Community Cup. He's been hanging out, just brewing decks with us. You can find him on Twitch at twitch.tv/ his Twitter handle, so KAPPOLO42.
Capello.
Yeah, there's no 42 on his
Twitter
handle, but there is on Twitter.
Fucking some bitch throwing me a curveball.
Yeah, but nice enough guy. I've been interacting with him, and his Twitch stream is going to be guaranteed to entertain. The one thing that I saw earlier is that he, for tonight, was trying to find a list for Legacy Delver with Oko in it, which, yeah, I'm into that.
Hey, guess what? Pitches to Force of Will.
It does pitch to Force of Will. He is a blue card. So anybody who's into awful brews of Magic the Gathering cards and also Legacy is friends with us.
More so the awful brews and less about the Legacy part, but yeah.
Well, if you're friends with Legacy, you're friends with me, and if you're friends with awful brews, you're friends with Matt. So collectively, you can be our friend.
Word up. You're not wrong.
That math checks out.
Said I have to go.
I hope.
She literally just walked through the door and said, "You got to tell him."
Tell Laura. Well, your wife is kicking you out, so you have to end this lovely episode of the podcast.
Yes, sir.
Well, dude, it's been a real one.
It has been. It was good. It was a good one.
It was a quality one, but I will go let you spend time with me.
Sounds good, buddy. I appreciate it. I'll think of you.
Perfect. All right, dude. Well, we will see you next week, nerds.
Peace.